I'm Elizabeth at Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I have a PhD in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists, and as you might expect, I love to read. Today I have my November wrap-up for you. I read 8 books this month. They are not necessarily all the ones that I wanted to read, definitely not. There are a few on here that were not on my TBR. There's some that were on my TBR that I really wanted to finish that I did not finish, but that's fine. So, we've got 8 books to go through. Let's jump in. First up is one that was not from my TBR, but that I did think I was going to read because I just forgot to put it on the TBR because I'm an idiot. And this was The Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. This is the 10th book in the Poirot series. I have been making my way through them and enjoying them very much. So our famous detective, Hercule Poirot, is on the Orient Express coming back from, I forget where. But the train gets blocked in by the snow and there is a murder, so he is naturally on the case. This is one of the rare ones where, even though I had not read it before, I did know the identity of the murderer because I have seen the movie, but it did not make it any less fun. This was so enjoyable. It was great. Like, there's not a lot of action. There generally aren't in Poirot books. It's him interviewing people and piecing things together and getting all this evidence, and there's little hints throughout so that you can try to piece it together, although I never manage to if I don't already know who it is, but that's fine. This was so fun. We have a really interesting cast of characters. We are all stuck on this train in the snow, and it was just delightful. I gave this 5 stars. It's been one of my favorites that I've read from Christie so far. I think it's definitely up there with And Then There Were None, and also The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, which is the other one in the Poirot series that I've given 5 stars to, and also the other one that I knew the identity of the murderer. So that's very interesting. But I do love seeing how it comes together, because even though I had seen the movie of Orient Express, I knew who did it. I remembered no details of any of it. It was like gone. So it was really fun to kind of piece together, okay, I know who did it, how did we get there? So yeah, 5 stars. I'm having such a good time with this series and I'm so glad I decided to read it. Next up was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and my hold finally came in from the library. I was so excited. This is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. So we are following Alice Law, who is a graduate student at Cambridge in magic, and her advisor, Professor Jacob Grimes, one of the greatest magicians in the world, is dead, and it's kind of her fault. But also, she's supposed to be finishing this year, and he's the only one that can chair her committee. And also, she really needs his letter of recommendation to get a good job. So she is going to hell to find him and bring him back because she will have her degree. Damn it. Coming with her is Peter Murdoch, another of Grimes's students, but also her academic rival. They used to be friends. Something has happened. As we go through the many layers of hell, we find out exactly what is going on with these two and all of the difficulties and trauma that come with academia. So I loved this. I knew I was going to love it. I loved Kuang's previous book, Babel, which was also a magic dark academia setting. And she critiques academia so well because she is an academic. She is in a PhD program at Yale, I believe in East Asian Studies. So, she gets it. And I felt seen by this book. Because even though I don't have a horrible advisor, or I did not have a horrible advisor, like Alice and Peter do, Grimes is awful, oh my God. My advisor's great. However, a lot of the pressures and the the politics of academia really come through here. The stress that graduate students put themselves under, the vulnerable positions they end up in, and the ways that some of the professors, but also the university as a whole, takes advantage. This was 5 stars. Yeah, I figured it would be. I'm really hoping to get a copy of my own for Christmas, but we'll see. The next one I had as an ARC from NetGalley. This is Patchwork, a graphic biography of Jane Austen by Kate Evans. So it is a graphic biography of Jane Austen, as it says in the title. I really loved this. So it didn't give me any new information about Austen herself. I already knew all this from the other biographies I've read, but I loved the way Evans put it together. She frames it around this metaphor of the patchwork quilt Austen made with her family. And it was really delightful. I loved Evans's drawing style, which seems in reviews like some people really like it or some people hate it, but I personally really liked it. It's another one that I'm hoping to get for Christmas. I will say it was hard to read on the NetGalley reader, but like that's not Evans's fault. That's NetGalley and the publisher's fault. So I feel like it took me longer than I thought it would because of the difficulties with the NetGalley reader. But it was just absolutely beautiful, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. We finally get to one that I have a physical copy of, and this is one that I started in September and then put on hold in October and picked back up this month. That is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. This is the story of a group of people in Essex, and there are rumors of a serpent living in the river and killing people and causing disappearances and whatnot. So we have Cora Seaborn, a widow who is interested in fossils. We have the Reverend William Ransom, who is thinking, no, this isn't real. And we have a whole other cast of characters. And we're just seeing their interactions surrounding this idea of this serpent. This is a good book. I can acknowledge this is beautifully written. It's doing interesting things. I don't know what my problem with it was, but I never wanted to pick it up. I had a very hard time with the characters. I felt very distant from them. I don't know if it's because I read it over such a long period of time and had such a large break in between, but I never really felt close to these characters. They were always at a distance, and I was always just kind of like, why are you doing that? I don't know. I didn't like them, but I don't necessarily need to like characters to enjoy the book. I just felt like I didn't understand them or what they were doing. I don't know. I can acknowledge that it's a good book. This is, again, beautifully written. So well researched. The setting is late Victorian, and that's super well done. But I don't know, I just didn't quite get on with it. So I gave this 3.5 stars, and I'm going to be unhauling it, which is disappointing. I don't know if it was just the wrong time for it or what, but I don't know. I don't feel the need to reread it. I don't feel the need to lend it to my mom, which I often do with books that I like. So I'm going to pass it on to the next person. So yeah, 3.5 stars. I'm kind of disappointed because I thought it would be a 5-star, but oh well, we can't win them all. Next up is another book I got out of the library. This is Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang by Kylie Lee Baker. This is a horror book following Cora, who is a crime scene cleaner. We are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. During that time, there were a lot of hate crimes against people of Asian descent. Cora's sister was a victim of one of these hate crimes. She was pushed in front of a train and killed, and the man that pushed her just whispered, "Bat eater." But Cora, in her job as a crime scene cleaner, is now seeing some stuff. And some of that stuff is that there appears to be a serial killer on the loose, targeting women of Asian descent and leaving bats at the crime scenes. So her and her two coworkers are kind of trying to look into this. In the meantime, it is the Festival of the Hungry Ghost. I think that's what it's called. Cora's being followed by a ghost, and it's creepy. I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought the horror aspects were super creepy. Like, there were some scenes that are just like... So yeah, it was good for what I wanted, which was like a good creepy book to have in the late fall. And it definitely did that. Next up is another one that I'd been reading for a very long time and finally finished. This is the Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath, edited by Karen V. Kokel. I've been reading this since, I think, August. It took me... Hold on. I can tell you exactly how many days it took me. Guys, I was reading this for 113 days. To be fair, like, it's large. And they're journals, so you can't really necessarily read them super fast, I feel like. Like, it's a little bit of it at a time book. I thought these were gorgeous. I mean, Plath is just... She is a poet. Her use of language is just absolutely remarkable. In addition to her journal entries, there are bits of short stories and poems in here. And it was just really interesting to see the events of her life through her own eyes and in her own words. I am forever a little bit bitter at Ted Hughes for getting rid of her final journal and losing the second to last one, whatever that means. Because I would have loved to see what was going on in her head as she was writing the Ariel poems and as all of this stuff with her husband was going down and the lead up to her death. But alas, we can't always have what we want. But yeah, these were absolutely gorgeous. One I think I'm going to be coming back to. Maybe not to read like all the way through again, but like to read pieces just to enjoy Plath's writing because it's so beautiful. So yeah, 5 stars. Next up is another arc. This is Not How I Thought It Would Be by Sarah Waters. Not that Sarah Waters. This is a memoir following Waters, who is in her late 30s, has a PhD in behavioral science, and life is not turning out how she thought it would be. She has just ended a relationship and had to move out of her apartment where she's been living. She has to leave behind her dog that they adopted together. And it's just kind of her going through these years and kind of having like this realization that I think a lot of millennials are having, like, this is just not what I thought life was gonna be like. Like, what the heck? So, I don't know, I felt weird about this one. It's not bad, but I like my memoirs to have more of a story to them, like a through line kind of, a plot. And these are more like essays of just her thoughts. Somebody in one of the reviews I read said that it reads like a blog post. And yeah, it kind of does read like a series of blog posts, which is fine. That's just not necessarily what I was looking for. She uses a lot of cultural reference, like pop culture references and kind of like popular slang terms at the moment. And I don't know, it's like I'm a millennial. I also communicate in pop culture references, but it's like, even though her and I are very close to the same age, we like do not have the same pop culture references. So that made it kind of hard. And I was like, it feels kind of like it's not dated yet, but I think in like another 10 years it will feel very dated. I don't know. I guess her writing style I just didn't really get on with. It bothered me to no end that she did not give her ex-boyfriend a proper name. She just called him the ad, and like things were broken into post ad and post ad and pre ad, and I was like, I can't, just give him a name. Just call him Bob or something, please. Like, because everybody else had a name. Even the people that she was like, yeah, I'm changing their name. But like, they still had a name. He didn't have a name. I don't know. It just bothered me. I didn't like that at all. So yeah, I gave this 2.5 stars. It was not the book for me. I think there are other people who will really enjoy it. Just not my cup of tea. And then finally, the one that I snuck in there right at the end, I finished this on November 30th at like 10:30 at night. I'm filming this on December 1st, so literally just finished it last night. And that is Romantic Outlaws, The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Her Daughter, Mary Shelley, by Charlotte Gordon. Guys, this is so good. This is the kind of biography I absolutely love. It reads like a novel. Like, I felt so close to both Marys. Like I knew them. Like, I was in their head. Gordon just does such a great job telling their stories and bringing them and the people around them to life. We are in revolutionary France. We are in Italy in the early 19th century. We are with Mary Shelley at Lake Geneva when she begins writing Frankenstein. We are seeing Byron and the ridiculous stuff he gets up to. Like, truly, truly phenomenal. Phenomenal book. Oh, I loved it so much. Yeah, I absolutely highly recommend this. So good. It's currently in the top spot of the year. And I don't think it's gonna be going anywhere, although I don't know, there's a few more books that could make it. We'll see what happens. I was not expecting that either. I did not think that this would knock I Who Have Never Known Men out of first place for best books of the year, but this is just a truly phenomenal, well-researched, interesting look at their lives and how Wollstonecraft's life affected Shelley's life, even though she died when she was only a few days old. There's like so much petty drama in here. It's great. Like, Mary Wollstonecraft and Elizabeth Inchbald had like major issues, and I've just read Elizabeth Inchbald's A Simple Story, so it's fun to see all of these authors who I've read and like just their petty squabbles. It's great. Yeah, absolutely loved it. 5 stars. So that is my November wrap up. Let me know down in the comments below. Have you read any of these? What did you think? What did you read this month? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.